Good afternoon and welcome to the Developer Show. My name is Chad and I'll be your host. And if this is the first time you're tuning in, this is a show all about developments and how you can find yourself living your life in one of the latest ones. Today, I'm joined by Andrea Santoriello from Arcis. Now, Andrea is presenting their latest development called Ballito Village. Andrea, how are you doing today?
Yeah, fantastic. Excited to be here, Chad.
I'm keen to have this discussion with you. Andrea, the first thing I like to start off with, and this is through all of the different interviews I've done, and that is just give us a brief rundown of yourself, give us a rundown of Arcis, and talk to me about what a customer can expect if they decide to go down this route with you.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks, Chad. So, yeah, my name's Andrea. I head up the sales for us at Arcis Property Development. Currently based in Bolita. This is where our new project is going to be built. Obviously, as you've mentioned, it's called Ballito Village. Right now, we've got quite a small team. There's just 3 of us, but combined, we've got about 40 years experience in the property development industry. Our main focus is obviously on residential property. So, our company is geared to bring affordable quality homes to the market, both for investors and primarily for new first home owners. We basically created a super simple process for customers to buy our product. We've got so much experience in the market and in the industry that we understand the challenges and complexities and generally the daunting nature of buying property. So we've created a really simple process, and we like to make sure that we bring a really good quality product in a prime location to our customers.
Well, I'm very excited to talk about this product, Ballito Village. Could you give us an introduction to it?
Yeah, definitely. Chad, so basically we're bringing a product into the heart of Bolita. We're nestled right in the middle of Bolita. We're central to everything that's happening. We've got quick and easy access into schools, shopping centers, hospitals, all the main conveniences that one would need for living in a complex and in the heart of Bolita. We're going to be building about 480 apartmts with a wide variety of 1s, 2s, and 3-bedroom apartments. And basically, it's a 4-story walk-up development. And like I say, we've got a huge versatility in our apartments. So you've got 1-beds in a variety of sizes and different levels. So, one could purchase a 1-bedroom apartment on the ground with a beautiful garden, or on the very top floor with amazing views. And similarly so with the 2 and the 3-bedroom apartments. Our development construction is set to start early next year, in about March, April of 2021. And we'll hand over the first phase about 18 odd months later, in about July or August of 2022. And our first phase will also incorporate our clubhouse and all the features that are in the clubhouse, which is really, really nice. So the guys that move into phase 1 will obviously have all the facilities and amenities right there.
You've mentioned quite a few things I'd like to unpack here, and the first is Bolita. In and on itself is obviously a household name and brings quite a few unique opportunities. The first one that comes to mind is obviously from an investment sense. But who are you really targeting this development to when you guys started looking at this?
So, Chad, it's a great question. I think, like you've just briefly touched on now, Bolita is generally has been seen as a bit of a coastal town, small city, but the North Coast has seen such amazing growth in the last couple of years. And, it's actually one of the fastest growing cities in South Africa at the moment. So, not only is it an exciting opportunity for us as a development company, but, we're bringing a product to an extremely fast growing market. I think mainly our 2 primary customers are split into 2 main groups. The first one being investors, obviously guys looking for fantastic real yields and obviously huge capital growth potential. And in the North Coast and in particular in Bolita, there's huge opportunity for the development and obviously the assets to grow. Huge demand for rental properties. There's been a bit of a gap in the market in the last couple of years. So there's a lot of development going on at the moment. And as I mentioned, we're bringing affordable housing in a wide variety of products. So your 1-beds, your 2-beds, and your 3-beds. So a large variety of people and investors can buy, on the entry level side and, maybe looking for something a little bit larger. And obviously put that onto the Airbnb markets if they have an appetite for that, or obviously just your long-term rentals. And then our second category is my favorite category, and it's the more exciting one, I guess, and that's your first-time homeowners. Already we've had plenty of customers that are bought their first home, guys that are getting married in the next year, and then ultimately moving into their first asset as a couple. And that's really exciting, taking people through the daunting process of buying a huge asset, which generally speaking is the biggest decision, maybe other than getting married, that they've had to make in their lives. So that's really exciting. And then again, there's an opportunity for guys to have a small little starter home in a 1-bed or a slightly larger 1-bed, and then all the way up to a big 3-bedroom apartment. So there's a wide spectrum and a wide variety of product that we're bringing to the market.
Affordable beachfront property, there's also an investment opportunity, is not something you hear too often. So it's very nice to see that there's obviously been a gap in the market for it, because there have been a couple of developers like yourself that have ran for this because they understand just the value it brings. And often when these are already, or these development properties are already in the phases that they're selling, they start selling out so quick. So it would be something that you need to jump on right now. So Andrea, my next question is something we were speaking about previously, and you've mentioned a few times, and that is the different bedroom and bathroom options. You mentioned your 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. Could you go into what you can expect with each of those unit types, and also what the price points are when we want to purchase into one of them?
Yeah, perfect. So again, Chad, as I mentioned, we've got a wide variety. So let's start at the beginning with the 1-bedrooms. In our Ballito Village development, you've got a option to have, from a 50 square meter to just over 60 square meter 1-bed. They range from about 950,000 Rand to about 1.2. And again, that's a versatility of the product across any floor. So you can purchase a 1-bed on the top floor with amazing views, literally looking over central Bolita and out towards the ocean. Or if you prefer a 1-bedroom on the ground floor, there are those options available to you. Our 2 beds, again, versatility in the products, starting very generously at about 80 square meters, which is a very nice size for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Again, across all different levels, starting around the 1.4 million Rand mark and going just over 2 to 2.3 million, again, for a ground floor apartment. And then our apartments also offer 3 bedrooms. Again, across all the different levels, you've got 2 different sizes in a 95 or 110 square meter apartment. And those range from about 1.6 million Rand, which is really affordable and really competitive in the market for a 3-bedroom apartment. And then those go all the way up to about 2.5 to 2.6 million Rand on the ground floor with a large private garden.
Yeah, you'd mentioned something there that was quite interesting, and that was all the different levels. So if I wanted to purchase a 3-bedroom on the ground floor, would that be possible? And then conversely, say my friend wanted some views and wanted to purchase it on the top floor. Have you got it situated like that?
Yeah, 100%, Chad. So basically any of the apartments are available on any of the levels. So we don't have set design in the block where, for example, it's only 3 bedrooms on the ground and 1 bedroom's at the top. So for example, a whole block might be a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. So you've got that versatility. And then same to answer your question, a 3-bed, you've got a ground floor 3-bedroom in a variety of sizes. And then obviously with the fully private garden, which is beautifully landscaped and obviously managed for you and maintained for you as part of everyone's levies. And then that same apartment can be on the top floor. And then again, you're looking at beautiful views through to central Bolita and out towards the ocean.
That is very, very cool. Another question I wanted to ask, and we touched on it earlier as well, and that's the amenities. So you'd mentioned the clubhouse. What else can people expect in Ballito Village?
Just Chad, there's quite a lot on offer for our Ballito Village development. Don't even know where to start really, but obviously, being an estate, we've got a clubhouse with all your standard amenities. Your pool, dry facilities. We've got a co-working space. Obviously now it's quite important to have the ability to work from home. So we're going to be building some boardrooms and co-working space so guys can go out there. There's obviously always fiber available throughout the clubhouse. There'll be a restaurant in there, so whether you want to just come and have a quick coffee and catch up on some emails, or physically sit there and have a lunch and a meal and do some work. We've got a 5,000 square meter private park in the development, which is going to be amazing. Obviously, Ballito Village is pet friendly, so people that want to have dogs and just bringing their families through to the private park, you can picnic and chill under the beautiful trees. And just enjoy the nature of that Bolita has to offer. I think my favorite feature would probably have to be our running trail. We've got a beautiful nature trail, which basically snakes through the whole development, which will be really, really amazing. So you can come out your door. People that are living in Bolita and holidaying in Bolita are going to live that active lifestyle. So it'd be really nice just to get out your door, put those running shoes on, and literally run throughout your own development, through the park, through all the blocks, and on the nature trail.
Well, I think this is the perfect time to take a moment and take a look at what Ballito Village has to offer. Let's grab a cup of coffee and we will be right back after the break. Welcome back to the Developer Show. My name is Chad and I'll be your host. And if you've just joined us, we are joined by Andrea from Arcis. And Andrea is talking to us about their latest development down in Durban, and that is Ballito Village. Andrea, before we cut to the break, you were talking about the different amenities on offer, and we went through quite a few things, and it sounded absolutely amazing. You've got your private parks, you've got your running track. It's obviously pet friendly. Shared working space, which was huge. I'm so nice to hear you talk about a shared working space, because I do feel a lot of people are pushing towards working from home. It's probably opened a lot of people's eyes in just how well your team or your different employees can function working from home. And I think a lot of people have then went and decided maybe that office is an unnecessary expense. So let's carry on working from home. And it's really nice to see you've catered for that. So my next question, which then goes on to, if I decide to and you did mention it, but I just in case people have missed it, I think this is very, very important. If I did want to move in and I decided to call you up and say, Andrea, I want to purchase one of these, what is the steps that you're going to take me through? What is a different kind of support I can expect from you? And more importantly, when would be the earliest date that I know I can move into Bolita?
Yeah, so from a process point of view, Chad, as I mentioned to you and the viewers earlier, it's super important that we've created a simplified process. So, obviously the majority of our purchases are first-time homeowners, so it can be a very scary, daunting task. And I pride myself on being able to connect with the buyers and our customers and help them through that process. It's a huge decision. It's a daunting decision. And I like to think that, my ability to take people through the steps and guide them through the process, is very important. So simple, answering all the questions. I often get told by our customers, I'm so sorry for asking all these questions, but, I love the questions. It means that people are excited about it and, guys don't know the process and how it works. So what we've done is we've cultivated over the last 10, 15, 20 years of our experience in selling these properties to our customers, a simple process. In essence, customers would either meet with me face to face, or obviously, in the digital age, we've got the ability to do it on all over on the computer. But we would select an apartment that made sense for that customer. So do they want a ground floor or a top floor? Are they looking for a 1-bed or a 3-bed? Do they like a bigger patio or bigger living space? So going through, the pros and cons of the different sizes and prices and how it would work for the customer and what works best for them. Once we've selected an apartment, we would then draw up an agreement of sale. Again, we've simplified this into a 4-page agreement. Generally speaking in the industry, property purchases come with a 20, 30-page agreement, which is very cumbersome to the average man in the street. So we've simplified that document and made it really simple for our customers to understand. Obviously, we fill this out digitally. I would take a customer through the clauses. And then we've got dedicated home loan consultants at the 4 major banks. The beauty of that is, at each of the various banks, we've got dedicated employees who would handle all the bond applications for our customers. So they know the product, they've done the valuations. So basically, when our customers submit their FICA docs to the bankers, within a 24-hour period, they've got a quote. Obviously, they can have comparative quotes when they submit to multiple banks. And then basically, once they've accepted a quote, the next step is waiting for the transfer to take place. And we've got dedicated conveyancers who will take our customers through the transfer process. And then very importantly, Arcis covers all the costs. So there's no hidden fees. You pay a small deposit of 20,000 Rand, which is part of the purchase price. And ultimately the balance of the property is bonded. And then we cover all your conveyancing costs and bond registration fees, which is very important for especially first-time homeowners, makes them feel comfortable. There's no hidden expenses. And then ultimately investors who are very price sensitive. We need to make sure that the price that's quoted is the price that they get, and there's no hidden fees that throw out their investment yields.
Now, one of the first thing I want to mention is evidently you're a one-stop shop. That's it. They come to you, you're going to help them through every single step of the way. It seems like you've got people in place across all the different sections of purchasing a property. So all they need to do is give you a ring or give one of your sales guys a ring, and everything's going to be taken care of. They don't need to worry about it all. It's going to come from you, and you're going to help them every step of the way.
Yeah, that's exactly the right. I don't like to think we are one-stop shop. It's got a bit of a negative connotation, but that's precisely it. Customers can come through to us with all their various questions and concerns and had the strangest questions in my life, but that's the exciting thing about it, is answering and helping people through this process. So from selecting an apartment to concluding the financial arrangements to affecting the transfer with our attorneys. And then obviously the most exciting part is people getting their keys. Obviously when we do the handover, it's an exciting process. And as I mentioned, most of our customers are getting their first home keys for the first time. So, that whole process is really exciting. And again, we not to hold people's hands through the process, but we guide them through and we make sure that they're comfortable with their purchase and with their decision, and like to do it with a smile on our faces the whole time.
Now, with the units being pushed out into next year when you start breaking ground and the year after when you complete, what kind of flexibility is there if I decide I want to make some changes to the units? Is that something you can cater for? And if so, to what extent will you be able to cater for it?
So what we've done is we've tried to put in all the versatility in our product offering from the onset. So, like I said, we've got a variety of different sizes in the various apartments, the 1 beds, the 2 beds, and the 3 beds. So, if you like a larger patio because you're someone who likes to entertain and braai, and obviously, maybe you bought this property for a holiday home, we've catered to that type of buyer. Also someone who's got a larger bedroom, the ability to fit a big dressing table and large bed, and or an entertainment space or big kitchen. So we've been very versatile in our product offering. So we've ensured that customers obviously have the ability to choose what makes sense for their lifestyle. Obviously, from a fittings and finishes point of view, we will have variations and choices on our kitchens, and then obviously the tile color throughout the apartment.
If I'm an investor watching this and you've completely sold me on the location, who wouldn't want to stay in Bolita? Who wouldn't want to stay close to the beach? And who wouldn't want to stay in a village that has the kind of functions and features that this has got? And I want to purchase, I go through the process with you. I've signed my offer to purchase. It's done and dusted. If I want to rent it out, am I able to approach you and ask you to assist me with that? Or is that something I'm going to need to sort out like I would say with some other properties I've already got in the market?
For sure, Chad. So basically what we will do is we have relationships with rental specialists in our market. So what we would do is those particular rental agents, we would train them in our product and make sure that they are able to convince a prospective tenant that it's a good place to live, and explain all the amenities and the benefits and the features and why it's a great location. So it's very important that an investor is comfortable with the tenant that's ultimately going to live in their property. So definitely we would assist them in that process. And ultimately, the biggest thing is vetting the customers. So we will make sure that the agents that we recommend are obviously certified and they have the ability to do that. So it's a really simple process for our investors. The purchase we've already discussed is really easy. And then the next step is ultimately sourcing the tenant and placing them in the apartment. The nice thing about what we also offer our investors is that we will give them ample notice as to when transfer is likely to go through, or when the phase handover will happen. And then we recommend to our investors to start marketing the property a month or maybe 2 before they get their keys. So that the day that the investor gets his keys, the agent can obviously hand them over to a prospective tenant. So there's no empty months in that apartment.
So then, sticking on the investment track, let's go through some quick fire questions, almost the advice with Andrea. And that would be the first one. is what makes this a good financial investment? If people are still on the fence, what would you say that would completely sell them on this development?
I think it's two parts. Firstly, it's an unbelievable location. Arcis has chosen this location because of how prime it is. It's literally nestled in the heart of Bolita, where all the action is. So, from a location point of view, it really, really is unbeatable. Bolita in general, as I mentioned, is a huge growing market. It's really, really quick growing. So there's a huge opportunity for capital growth. The second thing is because we haven't started our construction development yet, customers are basically buying now, locking in their purchase with the 20,000 Rand deposit and taking transfer of that property in about 18 to 24 months time. So they're able to benefit from, in essence, the capital appreciation on their asset without it costing them anything for the next 18 to 24 months. So that's a real benefit to customers, securing their price now and taking transfer when the assets are already grown substantially.
Now, the next question, for people who are maybe not so familiar with development, and this might be their first purchase within a development. Why purchase a development? What would you say to a customer that said to you, look, Andrea, I'm looking at this house, or I want to maybe rent or purchase within a development that's already been bought, it's already been around for a good couple of years. Why purchase into a development off plan?
So I think the most important thing about buying into a development off plan, it's the most efficient way to live. You're paying towards levies, which we've accurately calculated, which covers all your maintenance, your security, the management of the estate. I think living in South Africa is very important to live somewhere where you feel safe and secure. And I think living in a complex is a secure way to live. You're not a freestanding house where, unfortunately, in South Africa, you might be an easy target. So, our development offers 24-hour access controlled security. It's one of the biggest elements that we sell. So, very important to be able to go for a run within your own complex and feel comfortable and live in a development which is well run and extremely secure.
I'm very, very glad you mentioned security, because it was going to be the next question out my mouth, which was what security does it offer? But I think you've covered that. And it's also something that I agree with wholeheartedly, is the security aspect coming from developments is unrivaled. Knowing that you can sit and be almost within a community, it's guarded, it's got people patrolling, it's got that access control. It brings such peace of mind. And that then segues me into my next question, which is, what kind of peace of mind has advertising with private property brought Arcis? How has it changed the way you market your properties?
So yeah, look, we're very grateful to the likes of private property, ability for Arcis to showcase Ballito Village. It's a beautiful platform. It's simple, it's easy. All the information is specified there. We've got some beautiful renders and walkthroughs of our product. So people that are looking for property, generally speaking, are on private property. And we love the fact that we can showcase our property to millions of people that are on your platform every day.
Well, there we have it, folks. Andrea from Arcis showcasing their latest development, Ballito Village. It looks absolutely incredible. Andrea, thank you so much for taking some time out today to present it to us.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chad. And anyone who's looking to get in touch with me, you can give me a call on 082-683-8811, or go check out our social media pages. Our handles are Arcis Living on both Instagram and Facebook. And then obviously you can just Google Arcis and go through to our website and get as much information. But I urge people to get in touch with me. Let me help you through the process and explain in a little bit more detail what we have to offer.
There you have it, folks. If you do want to get in touch with them and you've watched this podcast and you thought this is exactly right for me, jump onto their social media, jump onto private property. The development is advertised there, Arcis. Go onto their page on our site. You can find all of their contact details there. Andrea, good luck for your flight now that you're heading up to Joburg. And for everybody tuning in, thank you so much for taking some time out on your weekend to sit down and take a look at this development with us. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you very much and goodbye.